Welcome riding buddies, another issue of John's Motorcycle Mania here, having a look at Harry Mason's, this time KX400 1974. Welcome once again, Harry.
Hey John, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. It's been absolutely awesome so far. If you haven't seen my other videos, there is another couple of videos on Harry's bikes as well. There's a bit of a walk around in Harry's shed as well. So make sure you have a look at those. Make sure you subscribe to John's Motorcycle Mania. It is a proven fact that subscribing to John's Motorcycle Mania will make your KX400 handle more like a Mako. I'm not covering them because they're beautifully restored and immaculate bikes and ready to go into a museum. These few bikes I've picked out to do, I'm doing them because they're different. There's always something weird about them. Like this thing, as I said, I've never ever seen one. I had heard of them. I had never ever seen one, even when I was doing a lot of vintage motocross in the 90s and stuff. I saw a 125, I saw a 250, never ever saw a 400. So these things are rare.
Not many in Australia.
Is there any except this one? If anyone else in Australia's got a KX400, let me know, because yeah, I've never ever seen one. This is the only one I've ever seen. There probably is somewhere.
Down in Victoria.
Yeah, those Victorians, they steal everything. They take everything. Now, this one, what's the story behind you getting your hands on this one?
Well, I've got a 125 and a 250. I thought it was nice to have a 400 to match it. Have a triplicate then.
Have a whole set.
Yeah, so one of my friends in America who I buy a few bikes off, he was digging around one day.
A few bikes off.
He actually found this one and he let me know that he had it. So I said, mate, well, I don't know what condition it's in. He sent some pictures of it. I thought, well, it looks like it's unrestored, but it looks like it's got good bones, it's all there. So he sent it over to me. So I've had it for about a year in my shed, and John found out about it, so here we are.
Yeah,
so,
once I found that you'd actually got, because last time I was here, you had a spot allocated for it.
That's right.
In your collection in the shed there. And once I found out that you'd actually got it, I'd been itching to get down here and do a video on it, just to have a look at it.
I don't really know the history of it. It's just come from America, out of Montana, and the guy found it in some fellow shed and bought it and sold it over to me.
And we've been having a bit of a close look at the bike. Structurally, it's brilliant. Like
very clean.
The frame, like the swing arms and frames of this era always used to get chopped up and modified to make them handle better or do whatever, and most of the time made them worse. But this it's completely unmolested, isn't it?
It is very clean, I reckon.
Yeah.
But we did say it looked a bit like a Honda, didn't we?
Yeah, we were talking there before we started. We stood back and looked at it, and I'm looking at the engine cases, I'm going, they look like they've taken a leaf out of Honda's page when they built these bikes. And it wouldn't surprise me at all. Oh, well, that worked for Honda, so let's sort of replicate it a little bit. Because
for Kawasaki.
Yeah, for Kawasaki. Even the hubs, they look very sort of Honda-ish, Yamaha-ish.
Yeah. And forks.
The forks look like Honda forks, just look so Honda-ish with a lot of things about it. Once again, the great foot pegs of that era.
Yeah,
massive
new ones.
Yeah, massive big foot pegs, which when guys race these things these days, they always modify the pegs and make them a lot bigger. So you can actually stand on them without busting your ankles or having the peg go through your boots. It's not pretty, it's not restored, but it's got the bones. Everything's there, it's great.
And it runs.
And it runs, that's one of the big bonuses, it actually does run.
Got compression.
Got compression. Once again, these have got a twin plug head. I don't think the decompression valve that's in the head on this one is original. I dare say it was just a aftermarket thing for them. The rear shocks, I reckon on this, the rear shocks actually look like the original rear shocks that would have come on the bike. So there's a lot of great stuff about this bike. Massive big cylinder on it, but
imagine how they handle.
Probably handle like an Elsinore. I reckon.
Probably.
Just looking at that frame, I would say it would handle like an Elsinore on steroids with big horsepower.
With little brakes.
With little brakes. But yeah, it'd be interesting to when you get this one cleaned up, like where we can actually ride it properly and have a ride on it, because it'd be interesting to see what that engine would be like. Being one of these things, I would say would probably be fairly peaky for an open class bike. Yeah, unlike a Mako 400, for example, which was very torquey engine. But yeah, so just one of those very rare, exotic bikes that you just don't see. They weren't considered special at any particular time in history, but the people who want them these days, they're very hard to find, and they are collectible. Hence why you've got one in your extensive collection down the back there.
There is a couple down there.
There is a few. There's a few bikes in there. If you haven't seen the video where we did a walk around Harry's shed, you've got to check that out. It's mind blowing.
Not your killer or your
So that has been a look at Harry Mason's 1974 KX400. Yeah, just rare, just so rare, and it's great to finally be able to see one of the unicorns that I used to hear about when I was a younger fella. Thank you so much, Harry,
No worries, mate.
for letting us have a look at this bike.
Too easy.
And make sure you catch us for some more videos. There's going to be a couple more of Harry's bikes coming up as well. And we will catch you next time.